Hello there, and you're very welcome to another episode of the Arkham Avengers FFPL podcast. You join me, the host, along with Eamon, Hector, and Captain Fantastical Mick, where we take a look to see how the managers in this league are getting on for the season. However, we'll also be talking about much more. So kick back, stay tuned, and enjoy. And a warm welcome to all our listeners. Firstly, each of us here on the podcast show wish to pay our condolences to the royal family on the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. She was a mother, and her family, of course, grieve for her. Our thoughts and sympathies go to each and everyone in the royal family. Eamon, Hector, Mick, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you. It's always nice to be on the show. So it is. Touching words. Thank you for that.
Thank you for having me back again on the show. It's always nice to be here. Nice to talk to our listeners, see how they're getting on.
Well, thank you. I still haven't got my pilgrim's passport. And I suppose just a reminder, anybody find it, remember my name is Mick. If you find it, you just maybe send us an email or a little bit of a message, could you? That'd be great.
Well, lads, a lot has happened since we've been on the show here last. We had Prime Minister Boris Johnson leaving 10 Downing Street. Liz Truss seen in. The Queen has passed away, and there's a new king. Talk about changes.
Yes, it's remarkable, really, when you think about that there.
And speaking of remarkable, I mean the Queen. She was a remarkable woman, wasn't she? 70 years as Queen. She had a great knack of sitting back and letting things play out. She never hurried to respond in a time of crisis. She did respond in her own way, and you get the feeling that it was a case of duty all the way. Eamon, have you any thoughts?
Well, she was the head of what we call an institution, and did, for a lot of the time, keep that institution going in the right direction, probably despite any gaffes from family members. And let's put it like this. When Princess Diana died, a lot of people said that the royal family were finished. However, the Queen steadied that family through the rough and stormy waters. We certainly won't see the like of her again. It would be very surprising to see a monarch stay for that length of time. And I suppose just to finish off, she adapted, and she adapted as the decades changed. But she didn't ever adapt too drastically, in my view.
Hector, how about you? Any thoughts or comments? I never met her. I didn't ask if you met her. I asked if you had any comments on the passing of the Queen. No, you say. Have I thoughts or comments? You say nothing about her passing. Hector, you know what I meant. Now, if you're quite finished, would you have any comments or thoughts on the passing of the Queen? Well, it's sad. Although she was 96 years old, there will be big grief over her death. She got around to countries also. You know, she visited Brazil once, the year before I was born. She visited in 1968 for a 10-day tour. She never came back. She was a big lover of animals and knew lots about the horses and the dogs, the cattle. So I think she always tried to bring out the best in everyone. Thank you for that, Hector. Mick, you'll have a few words about the Queen.
I do, yeah. To me, I always thought she was very sharp, and she knew what was going on. She was also very gracious. And as Eamon said, she adapted, she changed. And I think her death is really sending out the ripples when it comes to the Union. When you look back over her life, she really did see an awful lot of joy, but also an awful lot of loss.
Thank you, lads, for those words. I think we'll move on to our next segment. Of course, with the death of Queen Elizabeth II, Gameweek 7 didn't proceed with the cancellation of quite a lot of sporting fixtures. These postponed matches, of course, will take place at a later stage, although when really is the question, when you factor in that already it's a packed schedule. And the World Cup is in Qatar. That's starting on the 20th of November and continues up to the 18th of December. Maybe those fixtures from Game Week 7 will come into play in the new year. What do you think, lads?
I think so.
Yes, I think so too.
Go ahead there, Eamon.
Thank you. I think that we'll be looking at a double week here.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm trying to speak here.
Oh, sorry, yes. Okay. I'm sorry about that.
our managers should be keeping an eye out for these rescheduled matches. It could prove to be worthwhile in the case of a double week where you could use a triple captain or a bench boost. And to my knowledge, any chips that were activated, when we're talking about the triple captain, the bench boost, or the free hit, are going to be reinstated to the managers, and the wildcards roll over into the next game week. Now, however, I think if you've made transfers and you took a hit of a -4 or a -8 hit, then you're stuck with that hit. Indeed. Thanks for that, Eamon. And it's going to be interesting. There's a couple of matches in game week 8 that have been cancelled already due to the funeral. So again, more matches that have to be scheduled in there. As there's no football, we were going to talk about Queen Elizabeth. However, before the show started, Hector was talking to Mick and happened to mention he was at a wedding last Saturday. And from my understanding, Eamon was also at this hotel. And I think our listeners would like to hear how Hector got on. Hang on, weren't we going to discuss Chelsea's sacking of the manager, Thomas Tuchel? I think talk of this wedding that Hector attended would be more interesting.
I'd like to hear a little bit more. Hector did mention, and I'm sorry I didn't get back in there to talk about the fixtures. Eamon covered everything that I was going to say. But moving on, Hector managed he was at this. He mentioned he was at this wedding, and I'd like to hear a little bit more about this. See how he got on.
I've no doubt our listeners would rather hear us talk about football than Hector turning up at a wedding. Can we go back to Chelsea sacking here?
No, Eamon. I think we're going to hand this over to Hector here.
How do I unplug his microphone? There must be some way.
Eamon, sit back in your seat. Leave Hector's mic alone. Yes, Eamon, you relax.
If only I could relax.
I start. By all means, Hector, would you tell us how you happened to be invited and where the wedding took place? The wedding was last Saturday in County Monaghan, and the bride and groom, they are the Elaine and the Neil, they were the ones getting married. And may we here on the panel send our congratulations and best wishes to the happy couple. Congratulations to you both. May you have a long, prosperous and happy marriage. Now, Hector, carry on. It was a lovely day, I have to say. There was plenty of sun. The ceremony in the church was very nice. Plus, there were 2 vintage cars outside. It's something like, you would see in the 1930s.
How did you get there to this wedding? Did you know the bride or the groom?
I got a lift. So the sun is beaming. Everyone is happy. Wait a minute, Hector. I think what Mick was asking is, how did you get invited to the wedding? That is simple. The demo that I know and Teresa, they were going, and Demo said to me, he said, "We want to come along," he says, and he led the way. Okay, so what is this? It's like a +1+1 type of thing, is it? Huh? Well, I take it your friend Demo and Teresa were invited, but how did you wind up at the wedding? I already said the Demo, he brought me along.
I think we better move on. We could be going around in circles with this.
Okay, Hector, back to your story. So as I speak before, it is a hot day. Everyone is outside. Sorry to interrupt you, but were you there with just Demo and Teresa? Well, I was with them, and then they introduced me to, it was Diane. I think she was actually fighting with the door of the church at one point, and it did not open the way she thought it was going to open, but then she got into the church. Everything was happy day. There was Gala, the Rachel, and there was the Barry and Agronia. A big shout out if they're listening. You want me to move on now? Yes. I was just wondering whose company you were in. Okay, back to the story. I remember I mentioned and I said it would do 2 1930s looking cars. Well, Demo go over and he fall in love with them. He said he could be gangster from 1930s and he need the Tommy.
Sorry, the what?
The Tommy. Demo say he stand on the side of the car and he say, "I need the Tommy."
How was he standing on the side of the car? Was it turned over?
No, it was on 4 wheels.
And this Damon was standing on the side of the car?
Yeah, that's right.
That doesn't make any sense.
Welcome to the world of Hector, Mick.
It's very simple. You open the driver door, you stand beside the driver's seat.
I wonder, was there some sort of a step or a footplate that he was able to stand on?
Yeah, that was it. He stands on the platey thing at the door, And he's standing and he had the side door. You know, Hector, I have to say, it's the little things, the little details that are important. Carry on with the story. Demo said that he had the Tommy, he'd be like gangster.
I don't know. Who is this Tommy? I don't know. Was he at the wedding?
I don't know who the Tommy is. Demo call him Tommy and goes, pew, 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 pew. I'm sorry. What's that?
This is torture. Look, can we talk about cricket or something like that?
Hold on. What's this pew, pew thing, Hector? All I know, and I say here that the demo say he had to have a Tommy and then he could go pew, 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 pew.
Well, I think I know what Hector was trying to say. I think he's talking about a dummy gun.
Don't look at me, host. You're the one who asked for this story.
Right. So we've established you were at Elaine and Neil's wedding ceremony. You met people, and Damo thought he was some sort of a gangster. I call him Dynamite Damo, actually.
This is getting better.
And did you go anywhere after the church?
Yes, we went to a very nice hotel. I don't know how we got there. I was just driven there. And that's where I met Eamon. Very good. You said it was in Monaghan, didn't you, Hector? Yes, right, yes. So the hotel was in Monaghan as well? That's right. So you knew you were in Monaghan? That's right. Eamon, so you were in Monaghan, and Hector arrives at the hotel where you were?
Yes, that's right. I was indeed in Monaghan. I was working on an article, and I happened to be in the hotel in the foyer, sitting down when Hector walked up past me, stopped, and then, of course, said hello. He mentioned the wedding and very kindly offered to buy me a drink. And me being me, of course, I thought it would be quite rude not to accept, and I can tell you that won't happen again. I should have known better. Anyway, Hector is chatting away, and I only thought it polite to buy him a drink back. Although Hector, for some reason, seemed to think that he had to buy the next round. We both ended up with 2 drinks each. And I'm always one to get my own round in and make sure that I have the rounds in. And I bought Hector another drink with the intention of rereading my notes and retiring to my room to freshen up before dinner.
This sounds all so very polite. I can't imagine anything going wrong here.
As I said, I should have known better. Hector and I got up, and I headed to the main foyer, and the call went out for the wedding guests as their meal was about to be served, and I'm minding my own business, saying hello to Hector and chatting, and walking along in the corridor with my 2 drinks, thinking I'll soon be in my room, and instead I find I'm in the function room for the wedding.
Eamon, you got to keep your bearings at all times.
This is he who got lost on the Camino walk.
Hold on. I've explained that already. I've explained that there.
Can we get back to the function room here? I'm interested in this. Eamon, why couldn't you just walk out?
Well, I was going to. And I was suddenly told this is my seat at table 1. And people were saying how very welcome I was.
So in other words, Eamon, you gate crashed the wedding?
No, hold on a second now. You're going to have to refute that. I did not gate crash. I might have crashed into gates in the past, but I did not swan into any wedding saying, here's Eamon, where's my seat? So you take that back there for a moment. I was minding my own business and got swept up in the crowd that was going down to this wedding.
Yes, fair enough, Eamon. But hold on. You didn't get up and say to a staff member that you're in the wrong place.
I couldn't. The lady who was looking after the table 1 was a foreign lady. She spoke broken English, and when I said I'm in the wrong room, she just smiled, nodded, and poured me 1 large red wine and another large white wine, and nodded and smiled at me.
Eamon, are you telling us that you couldn't get up and walk out of that room?
If I had time, I would have, but between the wine flowing at me, and then the vol-au-vents came at me from another side. And the people at table 1, they were so friendly. I didn't have the heart to get up and leave them. They welcomed me there to that table. I've never met them before. It was touching.
Okay, we're at the wedding meal. How did this go? Back to you, Hector. Okay, we're at the wedding meal. Firstly, the food. I have to say it was delicious. And there was so much of it. All the veg, the potatoes, there was garlic potatoes, there was lamb, turkey and ham. There was lots of food. And then the dessert, for me, had to be the cheesecake.
Yes, I have to say, the food was excellent. It was very good. Top-notch stuff there.
And then These people, they were sitting at big table at the top and they were telling stories.
They were telling wedding speeches. They were talking at giving speeches, Hector. And if I might add, they were all very good, I have to say, especially when one of the brothers of the groom started to tell us about Neil's passion for golf. And when he was younger, he broke the odd window. He also made reference to Neil throwing a brick just to see how far it would go. And it seemed to bounce off a neighbour's car.
Thankfully, though, Neil, he stuck with the golf, man.
I hope so. I was giving up throwing the bricks.
You'd like to think so, although we never got confirmation about this really from the brother.
Is there any crack at your table, lads? We can't forget about the bread roll, Eamon.
Ah, yes, the bread roll.
What's this about a bread roll?
Demo, he got confused and he picked up the Barry's bread roll.
Okay, how do you manage that?
Well, it's another case of not knowing the left from the right. He picked up the bread roll from his right instead of his left. I think Demo needs to maybe look at Robert Welsh Designs Limited and take a look at how to set a table and place setting guide.
However, hold on. It did mean that the Demo had a spare roll for later on, and he was looking forward to it. But unfortunately, the lady who was looking after our table an hour or so later, she says, "Oh, I forgot to take the bread roll," and she snatched it and gone. Demo said, "Easy come, easy go." But after the teas and coffees at the meal, I went up to the reception to go to my room, and they said I'm second floor, and then they lifted the hot water. And mother and me, I had to lug my suitcase up the stairs. My shoulder, I thought I was going to dislocate it. But however, I got to my room. As you see, it was very nice, and I do the freshen up bit. Then I returned to the wedding, where I nearly got blinded.
What do you mean you nearly got blinded, Hector? What happened?
Well, Demo had this pink tie on, and the lights from the discos, they were reflecting off it. When his tie, it just nearly blinded me. It was very strong. But however, I recover. I'm Hector. And I make my way to the table, and the Barry, I hear him saying that it's far from those that the Demo was reared on.
Reared on what?
Hardly a pink tie, is it? No. Olives.
Olives.
Yes, olives. Demo was hungry for some olives, and he said he'd think about the minty sauce. So he wanted the minty sauce, but he could not. He had no minty sauce. And Barry said to him, he's far from the olives and the mint sauce that he was reared on.
Okay. And Eamon, what were you at while Hector is involved in olives and mint sauce and pink ties and almost getting blinded? Well, I had to say that I too went to freshen up, and I was coming back down. I thought, why not? Make an evening of it here with these newfound friends at table one, and I couldn't get back in.
You couldn't get back? You couldn't get back in? Why?
There was security on the door, and this fella said, "You're not one of the wedding party. You can't come in."
Eamon, really? Security? Oh, you're right. Eamon, right. There was security. There were 2-3 security men on patrol. Made me feel safe.
Who were they expecting? Was there some sort of a celebrity coming? President Biden arriving? 2 or 3 security men. Did they have earpieces in?
I don't know. I did not go near them. I thought the professionals, they used to back there.
Yes, well, at that point, when I couldn't get in, I retired to the bar up at the front of the hotel and had a drinky-winky. And thought I'd have a half-decent early night here. Just got chatting to some people up there.
Right. That's the end of your wedding jinx, high jinx, whatever you want to call it. Hector, after the olives and the ties and the minty sauce and whatever else, what happened next? Did anything happen next? The disco, it was on. I said the lights were flashing, and I wait for the music, so that when this music come on, I can do the Brazilian dancing, the samba, the faro, coco, the curia, the jongo, and the lundu.
Okay.
But I could not dance.
What happened to you?
None. He don't play the sort of music that I need to do all these dancing. You know, I have to be very expressive when I'm dancing on the floor. But I could not dance to that. The music, like the DJ, he's playing the Hills of Donegal. Then he's playing the Wigfield Saturday night. No, I could not dance. I could not get the rhythm for that. However, all the ladies were out, you know. I'm dancing in shoes, bare feet, high heels. And the only song that I could really say could give me a heart was Staying Alive. As for Demo, he strut about to Thunderstruck. I think it's by AC/DC, with his pink tie around his forehead, tied on his head, and he followed this up. Then he was dancing to a song, and he was thinking that he's sexy and he know it.
I've heard of that song, so I have. I'm sexy on the road.
Right, okay, Mick, just steady yourself there. Let's carry on with this story and try to get to the end of it. Okay, Hector, so you're all dancing out there. But I wasn't really dancing because the music, it did not flow. I need the flowing music to get me. And I have to say that the Barry and Rachel, the Teresa, Diane, Carla, the Gronia, they did not agree with Damos thinking that he was sexy and everyone know it. No.
Oh, good heavens. This really is torture.
And then they brought out more tea and coffee with scones, and there was fresh cream, strawberries at the reception, so it was very nice. There was cake, cocktail sausages, chicken goujons. Early on when we arrived, there was flutes, and they had these champagnes, and they had these small little Guinness flutes. Plus, I also have to say, the bride, she was on the dance floor all night, moving, dancing. She never come off. Well, it certainly sounds like a good night, Hector. It was a good day and a good night, even if Eamon joined up.
What time did the celebrations finish up, Hector?
I know I retired to my bed at 2:20 a.m.
Well, at that stage, I had a 3-hour start, and when it comes to sleeping, I had an earlier night there.
Oh, you know something? I nearly forgot.
What? What did you forget?
Jose, I forgot to mention him.
Jose, who is this? Is this your brother?
No. Demo bought drink, and he bought a bar. He came over to the table, big smile on face, and Barry say he up to something with that tie. Demo sits down, but before he can get a drink, the guy who served him over the bar, we found out was Jose, suddenly by Demo's side, and he's saying that he needs his number. His number? Oh, for what? What did he need his number for? But the Barry says that the Jose must like Demo's tie, and he's looking for his number. Are you actually serious about this? Yeah, he say, I need Demo's number.
Oh, it's not like being forward. Cut to the chase there.
He needed it, didn't he? He had to have it. What did he need the number for, Hector? So he has the number. Demo's number. This is easy.
I think we've established that he needed Demo's number. We haven't established why he needed it, why he was looking for it. Did Demo give it to him?
Of course. Why is the problem here? Demo had to give him a number. Jose say, can't she not go through with the transaction for the drink? And he say, Demo, I need to get the number put through again. Hector, why didn't you say this sooner? I never got a chance. I think you'll all saying questions. Okay, so by all accounts, you enjoyed the wedding, Hector. Yes, it was very, very good. The young, the old, all danced. Plus, I found the staff very nice and very friendly. Top place, very good. I think we leave it there. Thank you for that, Hector. Thank you. We have a small announcement to make. We received this, and I will read this out. On Saturday, the 24th of September, 2022, there is an evening of songs and praise in St. Mary's Church, Moydow, County Longford. The performance is by St. Mary's Church Choir and starts at 6 p.m. and will finish up approximately at 7 p.m. That's the Songs and Praise event performance on the 24th of September, Saturday, and we wish them luck with that. Hope they have a lovely evening full of songs and praise, and no doubt it'll be a big success. Good luck to you, lads, one and all, lads and ladies in the choir. Break a leg. Hector, over to you for a moment. Oh yes, what you want me to do? You want me to do the shout out now? No, I don't do the shout out.
No, please, let's not have any shout outs. I'm getting tired of these shout outs.
I have to say, I'm getting a bit tired of them myself.
The shout outs are good, I like to do that. I can do that now. No, Hector, stop for a moment. Hector, what I was trying to say is that Fred has been back in touch with us, and he sent an email in about the ingredients for the barbecue marinade. Well, I hope he sent more information in, because what he sent in there last time, I could not make none out of it. I try to make something, it turned into a big paste. I don't know how many onions I have to use. I don't know how to measure of this, the measure of that. As a matter of fact, he has sent in more information. Now, listen up and take notes, Hector. Eamon, Mick, when you got a pen, I have no pen here.
What do you need a pen for, Hector? I mean, the host has it there on a sheet of paper. Why don't you just ask him for the sheet of paper that the email is printed on? He'll give it to you. You don't need a pen.
Oh, yes, that's a very good idea, Eamon. Thank you for that there. Hector, what I'm trying to actually say here is you just take your own notes on what you think you need or whatever it is. But look, you haven't got a pen, so never mind. Here we go. The equipment: a non-stick pan, knife, spatula, serving bowl. Prep time: 15 minutes, 30 minutes if you're slow with the knife. Well, I would not be the fastest with the knife, okay.
I will give him the 30 minutes. So.
Cooking time is 15 minutes. Now, here are the ingredients, Hector. 1 chopped onion, 3 cloves of chopped garlic, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1 tablespoon of tomato ketchup, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of pepper. Happy barbecuing, Hector.
Spoons. Hey, you never mentioned nothing about spoons in the equipment. I need spoons. I'm gonna have to have the containers for this. Where do I put all the ingredients just lying around? I need bowls or something like that. Fred didn't have to mention anything about, the wood from the Texas, how the best way to get that over.
No, Hector, that was a whole lot now. Didn't say anything else. Sorry. If Fred is out there, maybe he might email in some further information on the situation with the wood. Now, that's pretty much our lot. But before we go, Hector, I know you've got some shout-outs.
Oh, no. Here we go. This is just... we didn't even get to Chelsea's sacking of the manager. We didn't get into cricket.
What cricket?
I said, could we talk about cricket? Anything but this wedding that Hector was at.
We don't talk about cricket. We never talk about cricket.
I think we should start talking about cricket or fly fishing or anything like that.
Eamon, give over. Hector, shout-out times.
Yes, and this is one of the best parts of the show. Hector's big shout-outs. And firstly, I start off a big shout-out to all the crew in Monaghan and Cavan who were at the wedding. I say to our listeners in Sydney, Berkeley View, in New South Wales, hello, hope you're all doing well. We have listeners in Longford, Bavaria, Lucan, Dublin, Illinois, Missouri, and Connecticut. Big wave over to those. Iran, Galway, we have France, Johannesburg is there. Hope everybody doing well down there. California and Texas. Hey, be hot over there. Keep pumping the oil. Reykjavik, England, Amsterdam. We have Mumbai, Santa Maria, the province of Bulacan, Ankara, Dubai. We have Ballyhonus. I say big high five to Midwest Radio and Michael Cummins. Hector, time to wrap this up. And yes, finally, Punjab.
Finally, it's finished. I thought he would never give it up there. He's getting longer every week.
He certainly is getting longer every week. We need to sit down after this show and have a chat about this.
But the people, they like the shout out.
Well, that's debatable. Let's see somebody emailing in that they say that they love these shout outs. He's getting above his stations on this.
I think he certainly is now. I mean, now how you came to the point here saying that that's the best part of the show.
It is the best part of the show. The listeners love to hear me give these shout outs because I'm touching out there with them.
That's enough now. Okay, gentlemen, as always, I'd like to thank you all for joining us on the show this week.
Well, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be here. And I would like to say to our listeners, I hope that they're keeping well and enjoy the next few days.
Well, I'd like to just say that was a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me on the show. It's nice to be here. And as I said earlier on, if anybody should find my little pilgrim passport certificate, you might just contact.
Between you and that passport certificate thing and you and your shout out for Michael Cummins, I don't know which one of you is worse. Amen. Anything?
Nothing for me now. I rise above all of that. You won't see me slipping to this level like those two Scalachicos there.
Indeed not. Okay, thank you. And listeners, thank you for joining us. All that remains for me to say is thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing to us and joining us. Please tell your friends, families, work colleagues about us, and wish you well over the coming days, wherever you're in the world. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a good night. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. We'll be back. Slán.